Hey guys, welcome back to my PlayStation 3 collection, and this is part 4. So the first game up we have Capcom's Remember Me. I only bought this a few months ago, and I will need to go back and play this again because I want to enjoy this game because I like the premise and I really want to get into it. And that cover's awesome, by the way. And I've heard a lot of good things about this game. I've tried playing it when I initially got it, and it was okay at the beginning. I was doing alright, but then I just found the combat to be very frustrating, and I just couldn't seem to get through the fights. And I tried to do one fight on a balcony several times and I just couldn't seem to do it right. So I ended up walking away from the game before I got too frustrated. But I will go back to it because I do want to try and get through it because the initial idea of the game looks really good and I like the environment as well. So I definitely want to give it another shot. Okay, so then we have Resistance Fall of Man and Resistance 2. Now, Resistance Fall of Man, I remember playing this. I imported the PlayStation 3 from America when they first came out. One of the original 20GB models. Can't believe they even put a 20GB hard drive in one, but there you go. There's 20 and 40GB at the time, if I remember rightly. I imported an American model, played Resistance Fall of Man. That was what sold me. I was like... I said before with Motorstorm that was what twisted my arm to get a PlayStation 3 and to like stick with the PlayStation 3. Resistance was the game I played first of all, and I was blown away by it. I was so impressed with that game. Graphically now, it does look pretty barren. There's a lot of detail that could be there that isn't. But the game, is as hard as it is, and it is a really tough first-person shooter to get through. It took me a lot to get through this game. It's just so much fun. I love the weapons. There's got some really good ideas. I like the enemies as well. They're really clever. The whole game is just a lot of fun from beginning to end. And that was the point when I got the PlayStation 3. I was like, I'm not buying a 360 again. Didn't happen, of course, but it was definitely the point where it twisted me up my arm and said, you know what, PlayStation 3 is going to be better than Xbox 360, and I was right. It was, and is. Resistance 2, I don't like that game. I don't like it as a sequel at all. It was just unnecessarily difficult. The first one's hard, but it was challenging. Resistance 2 is just hard, and I hate when they do that with games. I hate when they make them unfairly difficult and make it so that you cannot get through it. I've never been able to get very far in the game because they just get swarmed by enemies and I just can't enjoy it. And it's a real shame because I wanted to enjoy it, which is why I don't own Resistance 3 because, quite frankly, I'd had enough with Resistance 2 to not want to play number 3 as well. It's a shame because I really liked the first Resistance a lot. I was a massive fan of Fall of Man. I love this next game. It is Ridge Racer 7. I'm a big fan of the Ridge Racer franchise. I always have liked them ever since the PS1. So when I played this, I was really impressed with it. I played Ridge Racer 6 on Xbox 360. For me personally, that doesn't hold a candle to Ridge Racer 7. Ridge Racer 6 is just average, whereas Ridge Racer 7 is just brilliant. Really, really fun. Classic Ridge Racer. Beautiful graphics, massive, huge tracks. Really controls well. Superb game. So we've got Saints Row 2 and Saints Row the Third. The original Saints Row is an Xbox 360 exclusive, which I absolutely love, by the way. Fantastic game. Saints Row 2 is just brilliant. Absolutely epic game. It's so much fun. It's completely mental, completely out there. I mean, the customization of the character is crazy. At one point, my character had like a beard, tattoos, piercings. He had a pink prom dress, and he had his hair was pink, and he had it in plaits. The game is just completely mental. And I love the fact that you get 2 insults as well, which you can use. So you'll like give the fingers to this camera and stuff. And it's really childish, but it's just a hell of a lot of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed Saints Row 2. It's brilliant. Likewise, Saints Row 3 was just more mentalness. It just crazy games. They just don't care with the Saints Row game. They just go right over the top. I absolutely love them. I haven't got the 4th one yet. For some reason, I haven't got around to buying it. I think I was a little put off by Grand Theft Auto 5 being so disappointing that I felt like I was a bit tired of the sandbox games. Although Watch Dogs has sort of changed my mind on that. I don't think I am tired of them at all. I'm not saying Watch Dogs is a good game because it really isn't, but it did bring me back to the sandbox game. So I will pick up Saints Row 4 because I think I saw it for £10 recently. So definitely worth getting that one. It really annoys me that Saints Row 1 is not on PS3. I wish they would do that. Do like a HD remaster for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One of all 4 games. That would be superb. This is one of my favourite games of last gen. Awesome title. Is it going to stand up? I don't think it's going to stand up. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with that one. It's a bit wonky. It's a bit off balance. So yeah, Sleeping Dogs. Brilliant game. It's going to be getting a definitive edition on PS4 and Xbox One shortly. I was on the fence about whether I agree with that or not, because I don't want them to do it for every single game, but after playing Tomb Raider, maybe it is a good thing because they do look amazing. And this is, to be honest, one of the best games on the previous generation of consoles. It's just a superb sandbox game set in Hong Kong. Really, really beautiful environment, great story, awesome missions, some of the best missions in a sandbox game I've played. The gunplay is just spectacular. I really like the characters. The storyline is unoriginal but extremely well executed and well acted. Absolutely adore Sleeping Dogs. If you've never played Sleeping Dogs, please play it. It's just an absolute masterpiece. Really great title. We'll briefly get over this one. And this is Sports Champions, which is sort of like the Sony answer to Wii Sports using the PlayStation Move. I actually really like this a lot. The reason I got this is because my dad bought the Move when it first came out and he got this with it. So I inherited it off him along with the Move. And me and my dad had a lot of fun with this game. We used to play it all the time because there's some really good sports. The disc throwing is really, really cool. There's one where, I can't remember what you call it now, but you throw the ball across the floor. That was a really good one. I really like the sports titles. I like the PlayStation Move. I personally think the PlayStation Move is an exceptional piece of kit and it works exceptionally well. It's just a shame it's so under bloody utilised by Sony. A bit like the PS3, so they sort of just don't bother with it. Damn shame, because the PlayStation Move is excellent. Even if it looks like an ice cream, it's still really good. Then we got John Woo's Stranglehold. Really cool third-person action game with Chayo and Fat. Absolutely superb. Slow-mo, running around, diving all over shit, shooting people in the face. Classic, Woo style. Absolutely brilliant. Can't rate that more. It's just a quality game. And then to finish this video, guys, we have Street Fighter 4. Now, I haven't bought the other iterations of Street Fighter 4. I may do when they're cheap because they're coming down pretty rapidly, just so that I've got them for the collection maybe, I don't know. But I'm not a fan of Street Fighter 4. It plays really well, don't get me wrong, the controls are great and it looks beautiful and everything, but it just ain't Street Fighter to me. Street Fighter 2 is still for me the point where Street Fighter was at its best and it's never really improved since then. There's been some great Street Fighter games since Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive, don't get me wrong. But for me personally, none of them ever topped those games. The characters, the gameplay, everything, the music, the level design, everything was perfect back then. Street Fighter 4, I said before, the thing that annoys me is the stupid American accents. No disrespect to my American viewers, of course, I'm sure you know that. I just find it really, it just sounds ridiculous. The acting isn't very good anyway, and it just sounds crap. When you change the language to Japanese and they speak in Japanese, it just sounds so much cooler. So I much prefer that. But I just don't. Street Fighter 4's got new characters, and they're really crap. They're really lame. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed the new characters. When you had Super Street Fighter 2 back in the day, and you got DJ, Fei Long, Cammy, T-Hawk, they were really cool characters that fitted the universe well. Street Fighter 4 looks like they've been designed by people who don't know what they're doing and don't know about the franchise. It was just pretty piss poor, to be honest. So I was really quite disappointed. I expected a lot more from this game. So there you go, guys. That's part 4. And I'll be back shortly with part 5. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, just click on subscribe. That'll keep you up to date with all my latest videos. Thanks, guys. See you in part 5.